Hi guys, my name is Regnal and welcome to my channel. We are officially now in the unlock mode in our country and things are getting back to normal. So I hope all of you guys are doing well and hope things are getting back on track for everyone. The idea behind the series of Meet the Makers was to share with you what fellow YouTubers, content creators and photographers have been doing, what have they been up to, what are their ideologies, their thought process, how they create the beautiful work that they do. When you think of portraiture, you think of fashion portraiture, you think of wedding portraiture, you think of couple portraiture. Corporate portraiture isn't exactly something that comes to mind. My guest today, or should I say my victim for episode 2 of this Meet the Maker series, is somebody who's been doing this for over a decade. And in this time, he has shot CEOs, CFOs of almost all companies across the country. He is so humble and he is so willing to share the knowledge and experience that he has gained in this decade of photographing all these people is unbelievable. So, with that being said, check out what we have been up to. All, I would like to thank you so much for coming on this Meet the Maker series of mine, and really giving us time out of your busy schedule, and doing this with me. And you are my second guest slash victim on this episode.
I mean, thank you so much for having me, Ragnar. I think since the way we interacted for the first time, and then I think something clicked in between us, and it's always lovely talking to you.
Obviously, my first question is, how did you get started in photography, and how did your journey begin?
Let's put it like this. When I was a kid, since then I was very much inclined towards creative stuffs. So I had a band during my school days. I was a part of our theater group, and I was shooting. I had a camera when I was in school, so I was shooting since then. But I seriously I never thought of that. Someday photography will be my full time job or full time career, full time profession. I mean, while I was in college, I was shooting, and then I started with railway. But one fine day, I really realized that pure sarkari naukri is not something which I really want to do for my rest of my life, and photography is something which gives me full time sukoon in my heart.
There are so many different types of photography, and in that, even in portraiture that you specialize in, there are so many different types of portraiture.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
what kind of pulled you towards corporate portraiture as your field of specialization?
I started with Outlook Traveler magazine, so that's how I started with shooting a lot of travel stuff. Then I started shooting for UN, WHO. Those were very much journalistic, documentary sort of work. Then I joined Outlook Business. So that's how my full-time portrait and corporate portraits start happening in my life. In the corporate circle, people knew me that there is a guy Priyam who shoots portraits. Then onwards, I'm shooting corporates, and I am lucky that I shot most of the corporate icons you name in India. Corporate portraiture one, it sounds like a thing, just one guy in suit standing on a background you're just shooting, but it's beyond that. It's immense pleasure when you're dealing with someone who actually runs the whole economical bone of the country, right? They're the powerhouse of the country, actually. And dealing with them, knowing them in person, that actually thrills me. Initially, it was for corporate shoots, they would be relying on any kind of photographer. But now they prefers someone who is more professional, who knows about styling, who knows how to make them pose, who knows how to deal with the ego of the CEO,
Oh, yes.
CFOs, MDs. At the same time, who are good at their craft with also they're very quick. Photography, of course, it sounds like a great thing when you're shooting a person like Adi Godrej or Mr. Tata or Mr. Mahindra. But you'll have to understand one thing: photography is their least preferred thing, right? So they'll come in the room, they'll say, "I have 2 minutes for you, I have 3 minutes for you," and you'll have to make sure in 3 minutes you try to get the thing that you are here for. So that's the biggest challenge. So you'll have to know your job really, really well. You'll have to guide them, okay, now this, now that.
When a company approaches you to shoot their commander-in-chief or somebody from their high this thing,
Right.
obviously you do not get a chance to meet that person. You are dealing with the PR or the HR or
Yes,
whichever of the
yes,
company.
yes.
So how do you take a brief from them, or what questions do you ask, or in the time that you have with the team, with the
Right.
PR team or
Right.
whoever,
Right.
how do you gauge what they are actually looking for?
My first question would be, what is the purpose of this photograph, right? You want to do it for your PR, you want to place it for your internal magazine, your emailer use for magazine, anything. I mean, what is the purpose of
The final output,
yes,
where it's
yes,
going to.
where you are going to publish this photograph. So once I know it, then my second question would be how many changes you are looking for, right?
By that you mean close?
Yeah, clothes,
Okay.
of course. Then indoor, outdoor. So indoor, this could be inside his cabin. This could be boardroom. This could be shooting with the team, ambience, people, workforce working behind, frontal, samne se, wide angle, and all this stuff. And again, outdoor. So what is the preferred shoot? So once I know all these things, then I start planning my shoot. Initially, when I started, then there was no makeup, no hair. It's like, no, CEO doesn't like it.
Yeah, I'm sure in this field it is absolutely unheard of.
Yes. But I think I would be the first person who started pushing for this. The problem is that whenever we think about makeup, we think about bridal makeup.
Yeah,
so
full
this is
war
what
paint.
yes. I mean, this is what we think of. Makeup is not that. Makeup is just balancing out the skin, right?
Guys, pro tip.
Yes.
Speak to your makeup artist and get the right makeup when especially doing a business portrait.
Yes, it's a very important. One important pro tip. Please don't hire a makeup guy who is very good in wedding walk. Okay? They'll screw up your happiness royally. So please avoid taking a wedding makeup guy. Preferably a makeup guy who is good with fashion work. They knows the skin texture, right? They can read your brief, right? और रेस्पेक्ट इंडियन स्किन टोन. जो गोरे हैं उनको गोरा भेज दो, जो काले हैं उनको वही भेज दो. उनको गोरा बनाने का कोशिश मत करो. या तो चेहरा विल बी पर्पल एंड गला विल बी ब्राउन. ठीक है. सो these understandings are very important.
So now you just gave us a fantastic tip about makeup. Do you have any tips for styling?
Yes, of course. Styling again, it plays a very important role. I mean, we'll have to understand what exactly we are shooting, what kind of corporate we are shooting. If we are shooting a person like Ratan Tata, you cannot imagine him shooting in chinos and checkered shirt or denim and t-shirt, right? Let's say serious business profile. Always ask them to bring at least 2 set of shirt, white and blue, at least 2-3 ties, right? And 2 jackets, one gray, maybe black, whatever, but at least two sets, everything. If you're shooting, I mean, this worked really well for me. If you're shooting a young guy, young
An entrepreneur or a startup?
young entrepreneur, startup, IT companies, push them for anything. You can shoot them on their chinos, shorts, playing, jumping, whatever.
Another pro tip, guys, here, depending
Yes.
on whom you're dealing with. If it's an
Yes.
older gentleman,
Yes.
obviously you can't have them wearing jeans and t-shirt. But if it's a younger startup or, an IT company, definitely, you can have your casual business attire, I'm sure will go fantastic
Yes,
with a
yes,
younger CEO. One more thing I would like to ask you here is, once you've been given a particular assignment, do you research about that person as well?
Yes, of course. So being a photographer, what value you can add, what newness you can bring in their profile. So then your research comes in. Then your research comes in. Then you research about the person whom you are going to shoot, because 99% of the time you will not get to see the person beforehand. You will directly meet him on the floor during the shoot date, right? Do some research, try to know what is his hobbies are like, what is his favorite color, what kind of book he reads. Those adds a lot of value, because this is not just about shooting that person. You'll have to know what kind of conversation you are going to have. वहाँ पे जाके you cannot talk to someone and crack some shitty joke, if you're shooting a corporate person, वहाँ पे जाके कपिल शर्मा का joke मारोगे तो हो गया, तो thank you बोल के निकाल देगा. Let's say if I want to shoot a finance guy, alright, so and if I know what kind of book he reads, if I know what kind of what all the places he traveled till now, what kind of business he is into, so while talking to him, that will add a lot of value. But tricks and bits of the pieces, chota pieces about.
Basically get some dialogue rolling between you and them, so it kind of breaks the ice. And
breaks the ice. He is comfortable. He knows that he is not talking to just a photographer. It's very important. It's very important to get a aura around. I just hope that these videos are going to only and only photographers, because नहीं तो यार अपना भंडा फूट जाता है. तो I mean it's very important to सामने वाला. Otherwise, see, there are two ways. Everyone would want. I mean everyone wants to deal with someone who knows his craft, also something extra. Always try to bring a sweet spot जहाँ पे that person will feel comfortable with, right?
Like establishing a connection.
Yes. These are small talks which will lighten up the whole mahol of the shoot. No, so always look for chota cheeze which can lighten up the whole situation. Do your research about the company. You know what is the company's guideline. Let's say whenever we think of a bank, if we think of ICICI Bank and we think of State Bank gives us what? It gives us very serious, a bit boring kind of atmosphere. I'm sorry. Okay, I have accounts in both the banks, so none of them will be disappointed on me. And ICICI, that gives you more youthful, more energetic. कोई घुसने के साथ ही साथ hi sir, how I can help you and all this thing. तो वो पहले आप try to take a bit of understanding about the brand that you are shooting for. Once you know what they are, what kind of company they are, what kind of brand guideline do they have, you can plan your shoot according to that. Again, that is one of the very crucial tip.
What is in your camera kit and what gear do you carry once you're on location on assignment?
I always prefer having a rolling case than a backpack. I always prefer using two camera bodies. This is not that I'm shooting in both my hands, but I prefer having a backup body always.
Absolutely, yes.
I have two bodies. So one is Nikon D810. This was my workhorse almost for 4 to 5 years, and still I rely on this a lot. And then 2 years back I shifted to the new baby 850. So now this is my prime body. With this I work major shoots. And then I have two prime lenses. One is 85 and one 50. Both of them are 1.8 lenses. And see,
any reason you're using 1.8 lenses? Because
yeah, of course.
All the professionals I know, everybody is raving about using f1.4.
Yes.
And here you are using 1.8 lenses.
Yes. Personally, I think 1.8 lenses are a bit faster in terms of focusing.
Okay.
One. Two, the kind of work that I do, I mostly use lights, right? So I personally think 1.8 serves enough for the purpose, that kind of result that I want, because this is just not about buying a 1.4 lens and using it. Of course, if I want, I can. But personally, even I tried 1.4 Sigma Art. But what I've realized, the result between 1.4 and 1.8, that was not extraordinary. Of course, there were difference. There is no doubt about it. But that was way too heavy for me. So that's why I decided opting for the good old trusted 85 1.8.
So these were the prime lenses.
Yeah.
Do you even carry zoom lenses with you?
Yeah, of course, I have two zoom lenses. But before that, I want to show you one cute little different kind of lens, which is a lens baby. I use a lot. This is a 35 mm 5.6 lens baby. I use a lot for portraits. That gives you a complete different perspective, and half of the time getting the same result using Photoshop, that will eat up your whole day.
Yeah.
Which I can achieve with this particular lens in a flick. Yeah, and this gives you complete different result. I mean, I have seen clients on my face blowing off because of this tiny little cheap lens, And then, of course, the question that you have, I have an ultra wide lens which is 1530. I love this lens. This is super wide. This helps me to achieve a larger than life. A bit extravagant, a bit non-scene view using these lenses. Then I have this again Tamron G2 70-200. You're surprised to know, again, this is my personal opinion, I had a Nikon 70-200 before, generation 3. I sold it off. I opt for this lens.
Oh.
And trust me, I think this is one of the best camera lens that you can ever think of in for your kit. This is tech sharp. This is super good. I love this lens. 2.8. Although 2.8 gives you almost same result.
What lights do you have in your kit, and what is the reason of you choosing those particular lights?
Okay, so to answer you, I use Photo D2, the one that you have here.
This one, yeah.
Yes. So I have this, both the variants, 500 watts and 1000 watts. This I use for indoor shoots. Very powerful, very reliable, gives you consistent results. And then this one I use for outdoor shoots.
Which model is this?
This is V1X.
Okay.
This has got a self-contained battery, so it doesn't need to have a power source. So whichever location you are shooting outdoor, you don't have to wait for additional power source. And this battery gives you almost around 450 frames. They are full charged and full power. So this is enough in terms of power, in terms of result output.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was your reason of specifically going for these Pro Photo lights over the other brands?
Well, I was using other brands before, but what I've realized over a period of time, they can perform in extreme conditions. Like I have shot with this in almost -4 degree.
Wow.
And then almost and this can go as well almost 58 degree
In the
temperature. Heat. In the heat, you can use these lights. I know this. You can push these lights any limit. They will. The performance remains consistent. There is no power fluctuation. Or recycling time is amazing. It's like by milliseconds it recharges back. And the color temperature.
There is no shift in color.
No. These are very robust. You can drop it and you can take it back and you can use it back.
So have you dropped these?
No, as of now not. I am not willing to drop any of this. Yeah, because all this cost one of my kidney. So I don't want to take that chance. Once you are using this kind of light, make sure you have very reliable team, good set of assistant who values your product as their own product.
Right. So now you told us what lights you use.
Yeah.
So what are your go-to modifiers, and how many modifiers do you have in your kit?
Yeah, I have a lot of modifiers actually. I have 5 feet octa, I have 7 feet umbrella, I have 1x6 strip, 2x3 softbox, I have zoom reflectors, magnum reflectors, I have beauty dish, both maxi and mini.
You have so many, and I'm sure each of those has a specific purpose in
Yes,
your
of course.
kit.
Yeah.
But if I had to ask you which would be your go-to modifiers that will get the job done, what would those be?
5 feet octa with both the diffuser and grid. I'll go there and then I'll decide which one to use. But 5 feet octa, it's one of the best and versatile modifier. I think every photographer, they should have a modifier like this in their kit.
Any other ones?
Then I think I'm a fan of big boys. So yeah, then 7 feet in the umbrella, silver umbrella with front diffuser. That one reason being that is not a direct light, that's a reversal light, and that is amazing. That is amazing. Again, you can play whatever you want with that device. That literally, that is a capability of delivering whatever you want. Then strip box, that is amazing. You can lit up full scape of body if you use it from front. If you just take it up behind, you can get a nice highlight. You can just tilt that thing up, you can get nice shoulder lit portrait. Generally, I go for 3 light setup whenever I'm shooting a corporate person. So let's say if this is the person whom will be shooting. So first I'll have a fill light. This will be a reverse umbrella. Then I will have a hair light. And then I will have a octa. With grid. So mostly this is my go-to setup, and we'll have the backdrop here, let's say. यार क्या है ना, व्हेन यू आस्क फोटोग्राफर व्हाट इज़ योर फेवरेट फोटोग्राफ, चैलेंजिंग हो जाता है मामला, क्योंकि आई बिलीव एवरी फोटोग्राफर will come to the same conclusion that next photograph would be my best photograph. But one of my favorite photograph would be, of course, Mr. Ratan Tata's photograph that I have shot quite a few years back, long back. पहली बार उनके साथ मिलना, उनके साथ बात करना, उनको शूट करना, and if you look at the photograph, it's not a regular corporate kind of a photograph. I used a wide lens. I used a big black color का backdrop, and it was a merely 2 light setup. One सामने से, एक पीछे से, simple, but this photograph always going to remain very close to my heart. This was Mr. Jivin Karkaria. When I shot him, he was the CEO and president for Kuoni. Interesting fact was his office was right behind the Taj, and Kuoni is a company who represents the tourism business of India, right? So I wanted to shot him outside his office building. When you represent Mumbai, Gateway and Taj, these are the landmark of Mumbai. I started shooting him inside, and I thought एक बार पूछ ही लेता हूँ यार, CEO है तो क्या हुआ. So I very casually asked, sir, since you are into tourism business, can we step out, because Gateway and Taj is the kind of landmark of Mumbai, and he was like, yes, let's do it. I think this would be a very good thing. Let's do it. तो वही होता है कि वो छोटा सा एक question which added lot of value. We stepped out, then we realized that it's raining. And this is before 2008. तो ताज का लॉबी वॉज ऑल्सो ओपन, तो हम लोग वहाँ पे भी शूट किए थे, बाहर भी शूट किए थे. एंड इफ़ यू सी, आई हैव यूज्ड एक्सटर्नल लाइट, एंड द फनी पार्ट वॉज आई वॉज यूजिंग अ जनरल रेगुलर स्ट्रोब. बैक देन इतना फैंसी लाइट्स वगैरह हुआ नहीं करता था. तो वहाँ पे आई वॉज शूटिंग, एंड वन गाई, आप लोगों को पता है गेटवे के सामने बहुत सारा फोटोग्राफर्स रहते हैं, तो एक बंदा आके ऐसे देख रहा था. तो मैंने बोला, भाई आप ये लाइट पकड़ोगे? एंड ही वॉज सो हैप्पी, हाँ बिल्कुल पकड़ेंगे. तो ही होल्ड दैट लाइट, एंड आई केम आउट विद दिस एक्सलेंट फोटोग्राफ right after leaving my journalism career. So I got approached by this anti-drug action group. So they wanted to do a story on how drug is affecting our society. they wanted to mock up the whole shoot, but I just stepped out from the journalism industry, and I felt like, why not shooting actual people uh, uh, who are the part of the drug usage and the drug dealing and all. So that's why I fly down to Shillong. I was shooting there. The whole motto behind this campaign was, I was shooting real victim, real time people, real time location, and we didn't want to reveal their face. So that's why I shot it like this. I was shooting his back in the slum. Then this guy who apparently is a guitar player. So I just add some motion on my lens, and then I focused behind. So, and this campaign was very popularly taken by the group. They felt, because we kept the real time approach towards the photograph, yeah, this actually added a lot of value to the overall campaign. My tip would be, when you are shooting, try to do a in-depth research about the company that you are going to shoot. Try to know the person whom you will be shooting. If possible, try and reach there one day prior, so that you know the frames that you want to shoot, because of course if you're shooting a CEO or MD, they don't have enough time to spend with you throughout the day, right? So if you do your research, if you know the place, if you know the frame, they comes in, you do the shoot, and you're done with the shoot. I think if you try and follow these steps, this will make your overall shooting experience way more smoother, and you will come out with a very nice and professional set of images.
So that was all time we had for in the episode 2 of Meet the Maker series. I hope the tips and tricks that Priyam shared with us were of great help to you. And do leave us a comment and let us know what you guys think. And I shall see you in the next one. Bye bye.